Hey guys, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you with a Pokemon sales data video. We don't have too much to go over today. This is kind of the calm before the storm, before the PWCC auction ends tomorrow. Obviously, we're probably not going to have much tomorrow either because PWCC does not end until tomorrow night. But I will give you what I have. I will also give you some things that I think are underrated as well. Rocket set. We have a Dark Dragonite, both of them first edition PSA 9. One sold for $550, the other sold for $640. Neo Genesis. We have a Meganium number 11, so it's the one that is easier to grade, not as good artwork in my opinion. A lot more of them out there. First edition PSA 10 though, still not too many though. So for $15.25, I think that's very, 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 very undervalued. This is obviously one of two. You have, when I say one of two, I mean two artworks. You have the Meganium number 10, which very few of, like less than 30. And then Meganium number 11, which there's less than 100. So less than 100 for a starter evolution. First edition PSA 10. The fact you can get that $15.25, I think is very undervalued. For Alligator, first edition PSA 9, this was up to like $900 at one point. Hell of a retrace down to $635. Whoever got that, good for you. Slowking, first edition PSA 9, so for $563. Another thing that should be, this for Alligator and this Slowking, they should be $1,000 minimum because there are so few of for Alligator number 5 PSA 10s and Slowking first edition PSA 10s. The reason why these are the way they are is because there hasn't been a public sale for those cards in so long, at least this year. Fossil. We have a Dragonite first edition PSA 9 sold for $860. We have three of them. So one sold for $860, one sold for $911, the other sold for $800. We have two Zapdos. One is first edition PSA 9 sold for $335. The other is first edition PSA 10 sold for $771. So I think that's a little undervalued considering the 9 got, about half that. A little less than half that. Haunter first edition PSA 9 sold for $515. Gym Heroes, we only had one, Lieutenant Surge's Electabuzz. First edition PSA 9, sold for $121. And Gym Challenge, we had two. We had a Blaine's Charizard, first edition PSA 9, sold for $3,700. I thought that was going to go down below $2,000. We had it up to $4,500 for a bit, goes down to under $3,000, to like $2,500. Now it's back up to $3,700. And then a Brock's Ninetales, first edition PSA 10, sold for $371. There was a first edition PSA 10 the other day. It sold for over $700. Feather Disc got $371. I mean, something was wrong with the card. They only had one picture, or someone was just sleeping on it. It wasn't a popular auction. As far as undervalued, I had someone message me today like, "Hey, I got like $700. What do you think's good?" I was like, "Well, it's hard to find any meaningful Lugia for $700, considering a 6 sold for $15.10 the other day. So, you don't want to get." Like a 5. I mean, if you're going to get a Lugia, you want to get like 8 minimum, I think. I have a 7 and 2 8s. We're looking at, so I told him, okay, listen, good thing would probably be Neo Genesis. That's something I've really been focusing on lately. I really, really, really like the set. Not because I'm nostalgic about it or anything, although I am, but because a lot of my younger friends that are getting into Pokemon now, they said like a lot of the stuff that they have was from the Neo sets back in the day. And again, so I recommended first edition PSA 9 Slowking, under $700. You can get it. I think it's very, very undervalued. That's something that I would get. I have a PSA 8. I got for like $200, which I'll get all the Slowkings. I think are undervalued. And if you can't get that, I was going to recommend it for Alligator first edition PSA 9, number 5, but he already has one. I actually traded it to him, and I'm thinking, okay, well, already has one of those. I mean, I guess you can get another, but if you're looking at stuff that you don't have already, I was like, get a couple of gold stars. I looked into them. I was like, okay, a Suicune for PSA 9 gold star, you can get for under $700, which is insane. That is, gold stars, in my opinion, are very, 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 very undervalued. Charizard's moving. Charizard's moved like a mother, but that's the only one from that. Like, we've had a couple of the legendary beasts, Suicune, Raikou, and Entei move, but not a lot, considering that the population is very, very low. There wasn't a large print run. They're very rare. Fantastically amazing artwork. Some of it just comes off the card. I think that's something that is undervalued. And if I had a little more money, catch you later, Al. That's just something that I would buy. I would invest in. There's a couple of them on PWCC auction. There's a bunch of these that you just I'm right now is a calm before the storm. There hasn't been too much activity. You know, the big news is that we have the Lugia First Edition PSA 10. That's at about $65,000 right now at the highest bid. Got about 26 hours before that ends. Same thing. We have a Blaine's Charizard First Edition PSA 10 base set Charizard. That's at $276,000 right now. That's already a record price point. Considering the box, the Charizard box, or I'm sorry, just the First Edition base set box just sold for I think $376. I think the Charizard will probably go for, I think minimum 300,000. Which is what I said originally. The Lugia, I want to say 69,000 just for the lols. It'll probably reach 70. I knew it'd go to at least 60, but it'll probably go to 70. Outside of that, I've noticed that up until recently, maybe like this year, you could sell something for auction, and it would get relatively around the same price of what you would get in a PWCC auction. But now, because the hobby's so big, there's so many people selling. Also, there's a lot of supply out there. There's a lot of supply, and it's causing a huge retrace and everything. So it's a buying opportunity. If you have the funds, just go freaking nuts. Because obviously you see, okay, people are already willing to pay for it at this price. Now it's down at this price. Yeah, why not? You're looking at, I forget what I was saying. Sorry, it's been a long day. All right, I'm just gonna let that thought go and go on to the next one. Gold stars are undervalued, and oh yeah. So as far as auctions go, if you have now what I've noticed is that auctions from anyone else that is not, even big ones like Probstein or SM Pratt are only getting like a certain point, and PWCC is just blowing everyone out of the water just because now everyone that knew Pokemon was going to PWCC, kind of like, okay, that time of the month again, I'm gonna go buy. But now it's not just Pokemon collectors. Now it is cross collectors from sports, people that collect coins, people that art. That's what they do now. Like, it's so many people are in the hobby. And yes, there's been a retrace, but that doesn't mean that it's going to continue like that. Doesn't mean it's going to plateau. There's so many people in it now that once you're in it, it's not that you can't get back out, but it's when so many people come into the hobby like that at such a small time, it's hard to, it's impossible to say, oh, no, they're just here for a little bit. They're all going to get out since, Logan Paul said that thing there. He's not going to invest any more money into it. Those people are here. It's hard to get that toothpaste back into the tube once it's squeezed out. A lot of them are here to stay. And again, I think Neo Genesis, Gold Stars, and Trophy Cards, probably Tropical Winds as well. Those are the ones that are going to, the Tropical Winds are kind of soft trophy cards, Grand Parties. Those are the ones that are going to be going up. Specifically, as far as trophies, you're going to have the illustrators are more like monopolized. The illustrators, the trophy Pikas, those are two. Super secret battles, trophy Kangaskhan, and the Unicarps. Those are probably the big ones. That's just going to increase, and you see it just because they're unique artwork. They're older. They're like the sets of the hobby. But again, outside of trophy cards, you're going to have Charizard be number one. SM Pratt said in a video that he did the other day, saying, okay, you have Charizard, and then there's everyone else. Kind of like similar when I say in my stock videos, I say, okay, there's Tesla at number one. Everyone else is way down here, electric car fighting for number two. It's not a question who's number one. The question is what's going to be 2, 3, 4. Who's going to be eating Charizard's leftovers. I think it'll be Lugia. I think it'll be other people in base set. Again, Gold Stars and trophy cards. Just my opinion. Video's getting a little long for just a very short data list, so I'm out. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. I'll be here tomorrow. I may or may not for Thanksgiving. I don't know yet. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.